Hey guys, welcome to the video. This is the final video in our series on how to budget, and in this video I am going to be showing you how to wrap up the budgeting process mainly using a Google Sheet. Now, if you prefer the pen and paper method, no problem. You can still follow along and do everything that I'm going to be doing in this video. And if you have the Money Mastery Workbook, you will be using the final budget worksheet. I will also be showing you from where we left off in the last video that I did on the Google worksheet, which was creating your initial budget. And we will be going through the other tabs in the worksheet, the Debt Payoff Tracker, the Savings Account Tracker, and the Final Budget Worksheet. So we will be going through all of these and I'll show you how they work in the Google Sheet that I created. And if you prefer to make your own Google Sheet or Excel spreadsheet, that's totally okay. Follow along with this video and you'll see kind of how these templates work and what you can do to make your own nice and user-friendly when you are creating your budget. If you do want your Google Sheet or your workbook to look exactly like mine, I do have links for both of those in the description down below. That is the Money Mastery Google Sheet and the Money Mastery Workbook. Now, if this is the first video that you are watching in this series, I do recommend that you go back and check out the other videos in this series because they are in order. And if you watch them in order, it will be very easy for you to set up that initial budget, pay off your debt, and eventually build up your savings accounts. So I will leave those in the cards and in the description down below if you would like to check those out. If you are new here, I'm Kassy with makingtimeforgiggles.com, and I make videos all about how to simplify your life so you can get 7 extra hours in your week. We do that through decluttering, routines, meal planning, and budgeting. So if any of that sounds like something you would be interested in, please subscribe down below and ring the bell next to it because I would love to see you on the next video. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So the first tab that we are going to look at is the Debt Payoff Tracker, and this will look very familiar to you if you did watch the video on how to pay off debt because it's almost exactly the same thing. So here, instead of 2 pages, if you just scroll down, you can see the other debts if you have them, and if you need more, just highlight this area, hit Command C if you're on a Mac. I think it's Control C on a PC, and then Command V or Control V, and you can relabel these, and there you have even more if you need them. So that's how you do that. Now let's just go through some of the examples that we have. I'm going to reference back to the Debt Calculator tab. And again, if you want to see me build out this entire thing, check out that video that I did on how to create your initial budget with a Google Sheet. So that is where I fill in all of this information, and I also show you how to do file, make a copy, and then you make a copy and rename it whatever you want so that you can edit everything in this document. But I went through every single tab except for the 3 that I'm going to show you today in that video. So for those of you that weren't on that video, I did make all of these numbers up, so sometimes things don't work out perfectly, but that's okay because this is just an example. So the monthly payment for our first debt, which is an American Express credit card, is $50, and the amount left on principal is $500. So we will go over here. We're going to change the name to American Express credit card. Monthly payment is $50, and the principal to pay off is $500. Now, if you watch that video, you will see that the initial amount that we thought we would have at the end to be able to pay off debt wasn't quite working out. We were still in the negative dollars at the end of the month, so we had to adjust, which is life, and that's what you have to do sometimes. If that is what is happening in your budget, definitely check out that video because I give you some ideas for things you can do if that is happening to you. So we ended up with $300 of extra payment that we can do every month. So we will go here, we will, the first month, put in $300, and then look at that. We only have $200 left, so we are going to put in $200 the next month. Now, like we had talked about in that how to pay off your debt video, some loans have an early payoff fee, And if that is the case for your bank, it usually still is much more beneficial for you to pay off the debt early. The only exception would be if you maybe only have a month or two left, go ahead and just finish out the loan. But that's how banks make their money, by people not paying off their debt early, by having the loan for the whole 15 or 30 or however many years. So some do put a penalty fee if you pay it off early. Now, it's usually still very, very worth it to pay off your debt early, but definitely crunch the numbers yourself and make sure. But we're just going to assume that there isn't a debt payoff fee for this one. And a little tip for you, if you have to take out a loan in the future for whatever reason, ask that up front. That is something my husband always asks whenever we buy a new car or when we buy the house. He always asks, is there any sort of early payoff fee? Because he always wants to pay it off as quickly as possible. So check on that, and you can always shop around for who will have your loan and make sure that they won't have any payoff fees if the original place is going to charge you for that. But we're just going to assume that there aren't any for this example. So then we're going to move on to debt number 2, which I think was the MasterCard credit card, and the monthly payment on this one was $75 and $750 left on the loan. So we had $100 left that we could add here. We're going to add that $100. And you may be thinking also, well, the monthly payment should be taking down this amount too. That's true, although sometimes, depending on where you are at in your loan, your monthly payment is going almost entirely towards interest. It's just how it works. It's how banks make their money. So it may be going down a little bit, it may be not. Just call the bank or whoever has your loan and ask them before you write this final check for how much is left on the principal. So then the next month, you will be taking the monthly payment that you no longer have because this debt is paid off and adding it to that extra payment full amount. So we will be doing $350, which means that the following month, this one will also get paid off. And we can still add that $50 over here. Now, the third debt was a car payment, $500, $5,000, and we're going to rename this car payment. And we are going to take the $350 plus the $75, which is $425. Down as far as we need to pay it off. And now I'm just dragging it down because this is an example, but I do recommend that you only put in the payment once you have paid it. It will just be a little bit more rewarding to actually put it in as you are doing it than to just drag it down, and then you'll be able to see when you are making progress. So here at the end, we will only need to put in $275 to pay off that debt, and that leaves, let's see, is that $150, I believe, over here. And this last one was our student loan debt. If you're wondering how I have all these numbers on the top of my head, it's because I just recorded this video and my battery died and I didn't realize it was dying. So this is take 2, and I already know what most of these numbers should be, which is kind of sad, but it's okay. We will get through it. Okay, so we are going to take $425 plus $500, $925, and same thing, we're just going to drag it down. And the cool thing here is, even though this was our largest debt, this student loan debt, it's going to take less time to pay it off than it did the car payment because of being able to use the snowball effect and use all of the monthly payments of the previous debt and put that into this one, and use all of the extra payments that we had been putting and put it into this one. And that is the reason that you want to pay off your debt in this order. It can be really tempting to say, oh, let's pay off the one with the highest percent interest, or let's pay off the biggest one first to get that done. But if you do it in this order, you will pay off your debt so much more quickly than if you had just been chipping away at this $10,000 with this little $300 monthly payment. That would have taken quite a bit longer. Actually, let's see what would happen if we did that. Why not? So go $300. It's going to take, I'm actually going to have to add more here. It's going to take so much longer, and I don't really want to do that right now because I don't want my camera to run out of battery again. So you can see it's going to take half as long to pay this off than if, no, it's going to take maybe a quarter. Let's see, I can do the math here on my handy dandy calculator. So it was 10,000 divided by 300. So it would take 33 months to pay it off, but when we did it this way, let's see, 275, oh yeah, it was 150 was left, and then it was 429.25. It's only going to take let's see, that's line 18, but we start on line 7, so that is 11 months. So it takes a third of the time to pay it off when you do it this way. So that's why this is important. Now, when you are done paying off your debt, go back to your initial budget worksheet, and this is going to become your savings contributions. I know this is going to make things a little wonky on the initial budget. This is going to go negative, but we have oh no, we actually have more than that because we had $925 here, and then we have the $1,000 monthly payment. So we have, what is that? $1,925. So we have, again, the numbers aren't quite working just because these are all fake numbers, but $1,925 here that we can be adding. We're going to take off the monthly payments for the debt because they're all wrapped up in here now. And we are going to go over to our savings account tracker. And we are going to add $1,925. Now, when you decide, if you decide to separate out your bank accounts like this, which I do recommend, again, if you have any questions, go back and check out the most recent video on building up your savings accounts. And I also have one other much older video where I talk about why it's important to separate out your savings accounts and how it will be much easier when you do that. So I'm not going to go into all of that now. But as you do this, whether you do one large savings account for everything or individual accounts, you want to have a goal that says, okay, I'm happy now, and now I can just continue to add a little bit every month, and I don't have to keep adding these large amounts. And then this $1,925 can be absorbed into our budget in much more fun ways. So let's say the goal for an emergency savings account, let's say you want to have $10,000 in here. Okay, so we're going to do $1,925. It's going to take us just over 5 months to get there. Not bad at all to save $10,000. Again, fake numbers, you may not have quite this much, but in this example, this is just how it's working out. And then let's see, that's $375. There, okay. So now, just like with the debt, we aren't going to just leave the rest of the $1,925 here. So that is, let's see, 600, $1,550, I think. Let's see. 1925 minus 375. Yes. Love it when I can still do mental math. Okay. Added monthly. So we are going to be adding that 19. But now it's going to become 1900 because so now that we're done here, this isn't our monthly addition anymore. It's now going to become whatever you want to add monthly to this, just as kind of a maintenance. Like I said, in the savings account video, it's kind of reverse of what we did with the debt. Before we were taking that monthly payment and bringing it with us, now we're going to be leaving a monthly payment behind with everyone that we build up. So let's just say for now, we're gonna do $25 a month, and you will continue to add this $25 a month. A little tip for you when you are building up your savings accounts, it's really important to take that money out at the beginning of the month. It's really hard to motivate yourself to save if there's much more fun things calling your name. So make sure to take that out early. We do automatic payments, so it automatically comes out as soon as the paycheck hits, and we just pretend that money doesn't even exist. So set up recurring monthly withdrawals to your savings accounts, and then you don't even have to remember to do this. So then I'll go back to that initial budget. We're going to add a $25 payment here. So now we are going to add the $1,900. Oh yeah, what was our goal here? What do we want our goal to be? For our health savings account, let's say it's $4,000. Let's say we just want to build up whatever our deductible is or our max out of pocket, whatever that is. Let's say it's $4,000 for this example. And we are going to add the $1,900 until we get to that point, which is going to be less than 2.5 months. And that will be $550 there, takes us to $4,000, which means it is going to be $1,450. That gets moved over here because we aren't just going to absorb that, that's going to be going for something. And we are going to change the added monthly, again, whatever you're comfortable with. Let's just say $25 for now while we're still doing these big payments, so we can always readjust as we are finalizing that final budget. So we're going to go back over here. We're going to add 25. Oh, and then now this is going to be should be $1,875 since we've taken two $25 payments out of that. Okay, so car savings account. Again, totally optional. We find it very helpful to have this account because if you need a new car, or if your oil change comes up, or if your payment for your insurance on your car comes up, my husband actually did the math where he figured out how much a car costs us total in a year. He divided it by 12 and he adds that amount to the car savings account. When our cars start getting near the end of their life, we start adding more into this account so that when one of them kicks the bucket or we just decide it's time to upgrade, then we have that cash available and we don't have to take out as much of a loan, if any. So let's just say your cars are new right now and you want to just put, let's say $2,000 in this account. Then we will, we're already almost there. Okay, we're just going to add $550, and there we are, which means this will be $900. If my math is correct. Yeah, that should be right. Okay, so $900 will be going straight over here, and now we're just gonna add, let's say $25 a month, just to make things nice and easy. And we're going to change the names of these too. I forgot to do that. Health savings account, card, and then I think it was college, Christmas, retirement, and personal. Okay. So, what do we want to have as our goal for our vacation? Let's do 5,000. Let's take our family on a nice vacation after all of this savings. And we will be adding the, let's see, what was it? It was $1,875, $1,850. See if all this math is correct. Somebody in the comments is going to be like, you messed up. That's okay. I'm doing this somewhat in my head. So we're going to add the $1,850. Of course, now I'm double checking myself. It was $1,925 minus 25, $1,900. Okay, $1,900 minus 25 is $1,875 is what that would have been. Oh no, that wasn't right then. Okay, hold on. Hold everything. So so it's $1,875. Where's my calculator? $1,875 minus, what was it? Minus $550. $13.25. Okay, yes, I did mess up. Sorry about that, guys. This should have been $13.25. Okay, sorry for the heart attack I was giving everybody. Okay, so this will be another month of this, and then we overshot it by $25, which is okay, because you can never have too much vacation money, right? Now we are going to take this, and we're still going to add $25 per month. Which is going to bring this one to $18.25, just so I don't forget. And we're gonna do $25 a month. Okay, now there's the college savings account. Now, just like we talked about in the other video, totally personal. Of course, all of this is, it's your money. You can do what you want with it. But if you don't want to put any money in here, that's totally fine. It's totally reasonable if you decide you want your kids to pay for their own higher education. And if you decide I want to put some money in, but not a lot, or maybe I want to put it into a certain type of account that can only be used for education, that's actually what we do. And if none of our kids decide to go to college, that's okay. You can still give it to nieces or nephews or friends or somebody else who wants to go to college. So totally up to you if you think this would be a good thing for your family or not. I'm just going to, for the sake of this example, skip it for now. If you do want to do college savings accounts, I do just recommend that you have one for each child so that nobody gets left out. And also, the more that you can put in upfront, the better, just with the time value of money. So we opened an account for each of our kids and put a lump sum in when they were born. And then we just add a small amount every month. It's nothing fancy. They aren't going to have their tuition paid for by any means, but it's a little help when they get there if they want to go to college. So now let's do Christmas. And I don't know what your family spends on Christmas, but this seems like a lot, even if we only do 1 month at $18.25. So let's just do 1 month. Why not? We'll have a crazy awesome Christmas. Or you could have it be, if you want to just put a lump sum in right now while you have this extra cash that hasn't been absorbed into other things, maybe this pays for the next 3 Christmases. I don't know. I don't know how you want to do things. I know for some people that's probably nothing for what they spend, but we'll just put 1 month in here for now. You can put as many as you want. It's your money. We're also going to leave a $25 monthly addition to this. We are doing 0 for college, and then we're doing 25. Okay, so now retirement. Same kind of thing with retirement as with college. It's nice to add in as much as you can right now and just build that up a little bit. It'll be $1,800. Let's say the goal is $20,000. And then we'll just drag that on down. We actually had a little more, and I would say just leave it as that. It's always good to have some retirement money. And if you haven't set up a retirement savings account before, I would recommend talking with a financial advisor or somebody that understands these things, because there are a lot of different types that you can have. It's not good actually to just have your retirement sitting at a bank. You want it to be working for you. You want it to be gaining more interest than a bank can offer you. So definitely check that out if this is your first time setting it up. Now we are going to leave a monthly amount. I would say it's a good idea to add a little more to this account. You will thank yourself later. And like my husband and I each have retirement savings accounts. We contribute to both of those. And when we were both working, we contributed, I think it was the max that we could, because our employers actually matched up to a certain amount. And we would max out our contributions every month. That was before we had kids, but stretch yourself and try to contribute as much as you can to retirement. And then personal savings accounts. Again, this is something that's totally optional, just like all of this, because it's your money. But this one I would say is even more optional than the others. It's just kind of your fun money, right? So you could have a goal of, why not just start them off and put, $2,000, $1,000 in each account, which if we are doing $1,700, Okay, let's do 2 months of contributions and split that up between the adults in the house. And we'll have that money there. And then added monthly, I mean, you could even just do $10. This is just your fun money. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it can be nice to have just a little bit that is just for you to decide what to do. So then it would actually be 20, because if you have more than one person, 10 for each. Let's change that to 20. But it can be whatever you want. You don't have to contribute to it at all. So then down below here, I have spaces for other savings accounts if you want to add to those. I have the slush account here if you want to do that. I talk about what that is and how to do it in the last video, so I will let you check that out if that's something you are interested in. Well, it is now much later in the night. My son woke up after the last part ended and I wasn't able to finish filming right then and there. But now, hopefully, everyone is down for the night and we can finish setting up our budget. So it looks like I left off after we were talking about the savings accounts, and I believe we had already, yes we had, changed this to savings contributions and put everything in here that we were going to be contributing. So we still have in here $1,875 that are going to extra payments. So right now we don't need that, right? We have already paid off our debt. We have already set up our savings accounts. So this is kind of extra money, for lack of a better term. And what we want to do with this is distribute it through our savings, or if you need to maybe increase some of your expenses now, maybe you were really living on a tight budget that wasn't sustainable while you were paying off debt or building up your savings accounts, now you can distribute that back out the way that you would like your budget to be. So we will do this in the final budget, and I think I am going to add in some line items for the expenses. I think there are a few things that I want to add in here just to make sure you have a line item for anything that you need. But anytime that you want to, if you need to add in line items even after I have added in everything I think that needs to be in here, maybe I missed something, that happens, you can highlight or just go to the row, control click on a Mac, and you can insert row below if you would like, or you can insert it above if you have a different order that you want things. So one thing I noticed that I left off here in expenses is entertainment, and you can either just do an entertainment category, or you can actually list everything out with Amazon Prime maybe, or other things like that. So this is kind of the more fun part of having a budget, because back in our initial budget worksheet, we had an extra payment of $1,875 that we could be contributing to building up the savings accounts, and before that it was going towards paying off debt. So now one thing we need to decide is, do we want to keep all of our sources of income? Because that is one option. You may just say, hey, now that we have everything paid off, we can continue living on this a little bit tighter budget and not do all of the jobs that we are currently doing. Or you may decide, hey, it's really nice to have some extra money, and now we could actually do something with this extra money, so we're going to keep the additional jobs. Only you can decide that. And for this example, we're just going to go back to our net income, and we have $1,900 and then $1,425. So we're going to go back to the final budget. $1,900, $1,425. And for this example, we will just go ahead and keep the $475 of additional income, and we also had $750 here. Forgot to put that one over here. So then we would put $750, and I think we were doing 5%. So we would go equals 0.05, little star, and then just click on that cell. So then we have, so 712, 50, and 475. Put that in incorrectly over here. 7, 12, 50, oops, decimal point, and 475. So we're just going to go ahead now and go back to our final budget. And we are going to, let's say we're going to take off the 7, 12, 50, because I think in the initial budget video that we did, we said that was an overnight job at a fitness center because we were in negative income, which is never good. So we're going to go ahead and not do that anymore because it's not good never to sleep, but we're going to keep the 475 income. So this is now our total income for the month, 3,800. Wow, that worked out nice and neatly. And now let's say for this example that we know we have everything paid off, we have savings accounts, we want to start donating to charity. So we are going to go equals, and this works for if you are donating off of your net income. If you're donating off of your gross income, you'll need to calculate whatever that is, but we'll just assume net income for this example. And we will do the little star, and then we will do, we'll just do 10%. Okay, so now we will be donating $380 to charity. And kind of like I talked about with the savings, you want to make sure that this is coming out before everything else is. This can be an automatic deduction or something like that, so that you don't have to remember to donate to charity, because at the end of the month, if you don't do it right away, you're not going to have $380 just sitting there waiting to be donated. Something will come up and you'll end up using the money. If you just donate it right away and pretend like it doesn't exist, it works much better. So now we have that little bit of extra money, and we can decide if we want to continue to add to those savings accounts, which I do recommend that you do. So let's say we are going to every month put $50 into that emergency savings account. Is 50 enough? I don't know. We can play with it a little bit. We can see what happens here. Let's say we put 50 into the emergency medical, transfer to retirement. Let's say we do 100, transfer to car savings. We have a good stash in there now, and I think we said our cars were new in this example, so let's just do 25. Transfer to vacation. Again, we have a good amount in there. Let's say 50, because we're going to go on a nice vacation now that we have paid everything off and built up our savings account. So we're going to have to build that back up a little bit, which is okay. Transfer to parent one personal. Let's just keep that low. It doesn't have to be a lot, especially since we already have a good amount in there. And then I think we decided for this example that we were not going to do the college savings or savings funds for any of the kids. This is something that my husband and I actually do. We transfer to their college savings account, and then we also have a savings account for each child to kind of cover things like weddings when they are older or things like that. So we do have both of those accounts for our children, and we put money into each of those accounts for each of them every month. But I think in this example, I had said that we were just going to skip it. Yep. So we are skipping that for now. And then we can say the Christmas fund. And if we put, see if we put $25 in there, that'll be, is that $300 by Christmas time? And we already have in there, oh, we have a lot. We have $1,825 in there. So let's just do, let's put into the Christmas fund whatever we want our consistent amount to be. So I'm gonna go down here, get a calculator, and let's say if we do $30 a month times 12, that equals $360 for Christmas. I feel like that's pretty reasonable. Let's see, if we did 40 times 12, 480, that seems like a lot to me. But I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to Christmas. You guys have seen my videos where I talk about what we get our kids and things like that. And my husband and I aren't huge romantics when it comes to Christmas. We're very practical, and we just don't have a lot of needs or wants at this point in our lives. So to me, it makes sense to do the 30. Whatever you want to do. I would say put into this account, just start making it a habit to put into this account whatever you plan on doing in the future. And then you have that buffer that we already put in there. Let's say you lose your job or something like that. You have that money set aside so that you can still do Christmas. Or maybe as your kids get older, they have some bigger needs some Christmas or some bigger wants. You have that money already set aside. It doesn't mean you need to use it this Christmas. So let's just say $30 and then transfer to other savings. So did we have any others? We don't have any others here. I think that covers everything we had done. So if you have any others, you can write that in, and you can add in more lines if you need to. So let's look at expenses. I think let's just copy these, and then I don't have to go back and do those. Let's see, you are going to have, if you want, you can do, maybe you want to put $50 a month towards eating out. Maybe your life insurance premium is another $50, your car insurance is another $50. I'm pulling these numbers out of my head here. Don't yell at me in the comments if I'm way off. I'm just spitballing. Okay, so gas, gas is so much right now. I'm trying to think what would even be a reasonable amount. Let's say that it's $200. That's, yeah, seems probably about what it is. Okay, internet should be like, what, 30 or 40? Computer backups, I think that's not very much. I know that. Oof, this is where it starts to get real expensive, right? The music lessons, the sports lessons. Let's just do, let's say you have one child and music lessons, and that costs you $120 a month. Let's say child number 2 also is in music lessons, and then let's say child number 3 is in sports, which costs $75 a month. Okay, so then we have to look at some of the things like shopping. How much do you want to put in for shopping? And this again could be a savings account if you feel like that would be a good thing for you. If you want to maybe put $25 or $50 aside every month for kids' clothing or just incidentals, things like that, that can be a good idea as well. So that could be another savings account that you add to every month if you want to. Let's just do 25, and then, oh goodness, I don't even know how much Amazon Prime is because I don't have it. We'll just say 20 a month. And then any other entertainment or things like that that you want to have. Now, we are looking at a negative again, but it's not a huge amount. So what we can do multiple things with this. We could say vacation. Okay, we don't actually need to put $50 in every single month. Let's do 25. Okay, see, that helped us a little bit. Let's do 25 in emergency because we also have quite a bit in there, and 25 in medical. Okay, we're getting closer here. Let's do 25 for Christmas, and let's leave the 10. I like having a personal account that I can kind of use as I need to. So something that we could cut down on, we could cut down on driving potentially. I feel like that's a generous amount. I hope that that's a generous amount for gas. Let's go down to 180 on that. And then you can always cut out Amazon Prime if you need to. You really don't have to have Amazon Prime. So then we're just looking at $70. Now, look back here at our net income, and let's do the increase. Where was that? Increase net income. Okay, so we quit the overnight fitness job. Okay, so this was a restaurant. So the cool thing with that is if you come over here to the final budget and you need $70 extra, that's what, a shift? So you could pick up one extra shift. You could increase your income to, well, what would $7? That would be $540. Let's do $550. Okay, we're basically there at this point. $550, and you can always say, okay, we're actually going to put $20 into that account, and there you go. You are at $2.50. So if you need to increase your income more, but you don't want to keep doing those overnights because it's bad for you never to sleep. Don't ask me how I know. I feel like I never sleep, but it's not great to be working 24/7. So you can increase the restaurant job, pick up a couple extra shifts if you need to, and then you still have that little bit extra. So that's pretty much it. That's all for this video, and I hope you have found this helpful. I hope you found it helpful for setting up your budget. I hope you found the whole series helpful for starting at the very beginning and going all the way from figuring out what your net income is to putting this final budget together. And like I said, I may add in the expenses some more categories for those of you that want those. So that should be a little bit fixed before this goes live. And I also found a couple other things that I need to fix on here. But even if you purchased it before I'm saying that I fixed them, it's okay. Just go back into the original link and then file, save as, and that will have all of the fixes in that new file. So if you found this video helpful, please like it, and also leave me a comment down below letting me know if you have any questions. I would also love to hear in the comments what you are most excited to add back into your final budget once you have your debt paid off and your savings accounts set up. As always, I'm Kassy with makingtimeforgiggles.com, and I make videos all about how to simplify and streamline your life. So if that sounds like something you would be into, subscribe down below, ring the bell next to it, and I will see you on the next one.